Last I heard,
Oh, you can.
She's our theater person. Really?
Monday.
I've had
Like to see the
I'm like, what's happening to me? Oh yeah, I'm doing everybody's job. I know what's wrong. Oh my god, and it is wonderful. I know. I'm delegation with, and I don't have any let it go. I know.
So we sat down here.
I also just got
If we sat down killing themselves.
And then,
Only because they've got it now.
No, it totally, like when I first started my job,
Just had to find it. If they don't go tell me, I may or may not be studying. Oh, this is.
10 feet away. I think it's our safe bet. Say what they've done.
I'll be there.
yeah, and then Kenny comes first, Brett for gumbo.
Yeah.
Which he's like, you're gonna be there on Saturday, right? I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Do you know what I signed up for? Being there at Friday. So I'm gonna go sleep with Raven Friday night. Come to your house Friday.
are you going up there? I'm making sure.
What you got going?
Or,
Oh, yeah.
It's wonderful.
okay, 5 shares.
I knew it. Did you buy the shirts yet? I have not gone in there. Did we get
Where'd you get the
styles?
I don't know.
Find a basic show. That's the thing.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Where's their parents?
This is 3 weeks.
I got them.
I went live.
Right now,
The BT alternative.
Dr. told me it's kind of like breaking the rib. Already broken, and what it's needed for, it's kind of like breaking the rib. Until it, but until then, you can't really do nothing.
Did you get that? I didn't print it. Did you get that?
I
I figured it's very clear on the map.
Yeah, I had a printed copy of it.
She's got a good portion for sure.
We still got a pretty good ways to go down there. We made it all the way to this ditch right there, and we still got that pie shape.
You got 4 hours, right?
I'd be interested to see, the pie shape, the triangle on the west side, how dry that is.
When it's dry, when we go through there, it's almost in a ditch. I'll make it drain.
Probably help it.
He said he got like 150 knots on him.
I mean, I do claim
He really doesn't pick it.
I've done it once.
That's less.
So good.
I definitely didn't say anything.
How about more fundraisers?
That's
It was like,
We're hosting a parents' day. Like parents drop off their kids' bus and they take their kids to shopping and we basically do daycare. And then we're gonna show them Polar Express.
and y'all having them like sign mine out.
I would assume so. I mean, we have the boosters on it, but we're gonna like give
Good
them
aim.
cocoa. We're gonna like announce that.
Tack it off.
They can't charge more
The
than
moms take care of it.
Well, don't give them
And
anything.
Sulfur. And Randy.
That's right.
I would just say calm.
Appreciate it.
These are kids, and kids usually get along pretty well. Yeah, it should be okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. Call the board meeting to order. Recess meeting November 15th. Let the record show that all aldermen are present and accounted for. Alderman Papania will lead us in the invocation and Alderman Burgess in the pledge.
We will bow our heads, please. Lord God, in heaven above, we thank you for this good community. We thank you for the good citizens of Ocean Springs. And may we as a board tonight do the right things and make the right decisions for all our citizens here in Ocean Springs. Father, we just honored veterans during Veterans Day, and we ask that we all pray for and think of our injured veterans, mentally and physically. May you be with them. May you help them during their hard times. God bless us all. God be with us all. For all these things we ask in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need a motion to approve the agenda with the stated agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Altamont.
Second.
Second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Tonight we have a special recognition with a certificate to young people who participated in the Spooky Sea, Scary Sea.
Spooky Springs at the Scary Sea.
Yes. And they're here tonight to be recognized by the city and the board. It is the Ocean Springs High School Theater Department. They put in countless hours of rehearsal, re-rehearsal, construction, left us building props, bringing their own props, and so forth. So on behalf of the city and the Board of Aldermen, we want to present y'all with this certificate of recognition and a little token of our appreciation for the services rendered. Congratulations.
That was a fantastic job, y'all.
Yeah, it was. You did a great job.
Next item on the agenda is agenda public comment. Anybody wishing to address the board on any item listed on this agenda may do so at this time. We'll allow up to 3 minutes each for a maximum period of 30 minutes. Only regarding issues listed on the agenda. When you step forward to the podium, please identify yourself and the agenda item. Is anybody here to address any item on the agenda? Okay. Moving on to old business. I guess about a year ago, we entered into a contract with Cypress Environmental Engineers, and they're here to make a presentation to us tonight. Before they do so, I just want to say that when they came to talk to us about this project, it was kind of some combination of some ideas, and I told them, I said, we're kind of at the casino here. We're rolling the dice, and if we get this thing funded, then yeah, we've got a deal. If we don't, sorry, we're both out of luck here. So you don't find many people that'll step forward and spend their own resources and time and energy. As a municipality, we don't, without somebody giving you an invoice. So, but anyway, in the process, they've come up with a great plan. We were awarded $2.8 million from the legislature this past year. And if anyone doesn't know, last week the governor awarded us another $5.5 million out of the Restore Fund for this project. So to date, we have $8.3 million of a project that is going to run about close to $12 million, I think, maybe when it's done. So anyway, in the city at this point, we did get beat up on this a little bit at budget time, but the city has $650,000 in this project. And like I say, leveraging our money with the county's money, we were able to parlay all that into an additional $8.3 million. So that's pretty good investment. So at this time, I want to introduce Cypress Engineering, and they're going to bring us up to date, bring all of them up to date of where they are right now. So come on, Mark.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you want me to go to the podium?
Yeah, go to the podium.
So I'm Mark Foster with Cypress Environment and Infrastructure, lead planner. And this is just an update on the Front Beach event space we've been working on since August. And so first few months of this project are essentially foundation building, where we're focused on pre-application meetings with regulators and having preliminary design review conducted by regulatory officials to ensure that the final designs of the project are both permittable and are not delayed by the processes that we have to go through with the Corps of Engineers, Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, the Secretary of State's office, and MDEQ. And so this work essentially establishes the buildable footprint on the site. It's an old bulkheaded site. There's degradation of the bulkhead. Some stuff is fallen down and sloughed off into the water. So the actual boundary essentially has to be negotiated with the Secretary of State's office, because part of that's converted to state water bottoms, part of it, remains as city owned. And so establishing that boundary where the site's buildable is a crucial first step. So we've established that. We built buy-in with both the federal and the state permitting entities, and this streamlines future work that's done on site. Essentially prevents design changes and rework having to be done on the site as you get further into the process. So at this stage, bulkhead design for the site is at 30% design. That's 6 weeks ahead of schedule on that task, which was supposed to be done at the end of the year. The marina design is in development to 30%, so it is on schedule for the end of the year. Hardscape, landscape, and event structure are beginning design right now, so they're also all on track. There's going to be new rendered graphics of the current version of the site plans. Those are in the works for delivery by the end of November. And then also a design for outdoor signage for the site, which is based on the graphics that I just mentioned, that's also in development for delivery at the end of November. So once all of those new project graphics are done here at the end of this month, if y'all are interested in having me come back in, we could run through a PowerPoint or show y'all in group format what that stuff looks like. Be happy to run through the latest iteration of everything so that you get a chance to appreciate the visuals and make any comments, etc.
On the sign that you're making, we need to proof that to make sure that the entities that have helped fund this are all recognized.
Yes, sir.
And the DMR, all that stuff.
There's
We've
some-
already got
some
that scheduled
requirements.
with Raven to do that.
Jackson County, okay. Awesome, good. So when can we break ground?
A little bit early tell. Yeah.
Anybody have any questions?
Can we do any type of little work session with the board, just in case members have other thoughts to throw out there at you before you do a final
Sure.
draft on this project? Nothing pops out in my head right now, but I mean, all of us might have different things we'd like to see added to or deleted from. I don't know if we could do that one day, Mayor.
I don't see why not.
Meet in the mayor's office.
That's what I'd suggest, some mid-December, something like that, once we've got the sign ready to go and have kind of gone over those graphics, we can all sit down and look at those plans and go over that. I think, yeah, if y'all want to do some kind of a workshop, then that'd be a good time to
Has
do
there
it.
been many changes to the initial rendering?
I would say that mostly it's changes to the configuration of the pavilion based on the number of folks that we wanted to accommodate, and then changes to the marina. Originally, there was concern about the site being narrow and what the littoral rights were of the city in that situation. Whether you would have to build kind of a narrow marina that extended far towards Deer Island because of the configuration of the site. But we've clarified with Secretary of State that we can build outside those bounds and build wider than the site, because all of the beachfront land on either side is publicly owned, so there's not private littoral rights that hem y'all in, essentially. Yeah. So it makes for a more efficient marina design. You end up saving money on the breakwater by having, essentially a more space-efficient marina.
Anything else? Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks. Next item under new old business is an ordinance adoption, establishing and maintaining an active and continuing program for management of municipal records. This was presented at the last meeting. So Patty, do you have any other comments on this? Vicky?
We went over it all before, if you have any questions.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Cox,
Second.
second by Mr. Blackman. I need a roll call.
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to new business, discuss the approval of Civic Plus as the city's website management system and meeting and agenda management system. Raven and Vicky are going to kind of talk to y'all a little bit about this this new program. It is by far and away the most used program, website, agenda based throughout the state. So they're going to kind of fill y'all in on what they've found and what they've been researching.
Yes, thanks. So Civic Plus is a website content management platform that offers many different platforms and services. What Vicki and I are looking into is using this platform for a new website, which they are solely based on creating services and solutions for municipal government. So Jackson County uses Civic Plus, the city of Moss Point, the city of Pascagoula, and those are just some of the highlights that are specifically in Jackson County. And so some of the highlights that we take away from Civic Plus is being able to be more engaged with our residents, with the services that we provide them. Just an easier tool that makes sense when it comes to layout and how to access information. One of the key tools is being able to look at our facilities and see if they're already rented. I know that's a big thing for us. And a lot of the traffic will be done online. So whether it's your forms, filling out rental agreements, it'll decrease the access of phone calls and emails from staff when it's just easier for people to go online and find the information they need. So that's basically, that would be the website portion. And then Vicki will talk a little bit about specifically Civic Clerk and the benefits for that platform.
Many of the Jackson County, Goshen, are the ones in Jackson County, I believe, that use Civic Clerk, which is part of the Civic Plus. They work really well together. Once we have it, you'll have your own portal. Everything will go through. It'll be very easy if you want to click on one of his agendas. It makes it very integrated on the website. So if she clicks on the last meeting that they had, council meeting, supervisor meeting, the first or the 14th. It might be down further lower. So in every item, there's a link. You click on it until it takes you directly to that item. And then not only that, once the minutes are completed, you're able to click on it and it'll say the motion and then the vote for each item. It's very user-friendly. It's great for the residents and people wanting to research it. You're able to do keyword searches on it if you have the Civic Plus the Civic Clerk. Also, Civic Plus has bought out Municode. So now, once an ordinance is adopted, it will go directly to Municode, to our website. Right now, we have not updated our ordinances in quite some time on Municode. There's just a lag time because we wait typically 6 months, and it's costly. So we typically wait 6 months to present them all to Municode, where this will be instantaneous. Once it's approved, adopted, done. So here you can see where the M and the V, like if you click on the V, it'll show you the vote that they did. It's very user-friendly, easy to use. It'll save a lot of time.
Vicki, talk about when you're building the agenda and somebody calls in
With a late entry.
With a late entry.
And right now, I've already got everything numbered and lettered and everything. It's quite an ordeal and time consuming to add something to it or delete something from it. Where this, I would be able to put it into the program, it reorders, renumbers, and puts it in instantly. Also, whereas now everything's in black and white because I'm scanning in these documents and it's too large to have it in color. Where Carolyn would send me like her planning things in color, you would see them in color. So it'd be no more separate emails to show you the trees so that you could actually see what's going on. I think that's really beneficial. It's not only you, but also, and if there were something that only you guys should see on it, I can put it just for the board. Not only would I be able to use it, Amanda would be able to use it for HPC planning. I would also be able to use it for the redevelopment authority. It'll be less time consuming to do, I think, not only the agenda, but also the minutes because it's all integrated. Here I would be, instead of making notes, I would actually just be putting in the votes into the agenda center and the minutes would almost be done
So
at the end of the meeting.
So with the old website, we're not contractually bound to them for anything? I mean, monetary wise or anything, we can just stop it and start all over with somebody else?
I mean, what's going to take, there's a pretty good timeline that we would still need.
Would we be able to get these paper guys on it if they wanted to get on it?
Yeah, can we get off of the printed stuff?
Yeah.
I would still be able to print, you would still be able to get it in a PDF. But they might find it a lot easier if you can just click on something and it takes you directly to the item that you're looking for instead of flipping through pages or scrolling through a PDF. You might find it easier since it would have the links. But also, I could still print out for those who needed it printed out. That's not, I asked that question specifically when we were going through the proposal.
It's the same with us. We have some commissioners that prefer to get hard copy, but most of them do electronic, so it would work the same for our commissioners.
That would be a big option.
Well, there's only a couple that we do. We make it, it's not easy, but.
Also, if you have, I'm sorry, if you
Okay.
have your devices, it works well with iPads or iPads or tablets. You could have your agenda center open for the board, your board portal, and type in your vote. Sends it directly to me.
So how much time are we talking about before we get to that?
So for the website, so Civic Clerk is a little faster to onboard. Of course, with the website, it wouldn't be until the beginning of next year where we would actually launch, just because we have to migrate all our information over and kind of redesign, what our website would look like. So we would be looking, if everything goes perfectly, probably February, March.
So all the department managers would be admin to this?
They would be admin to their pages or things they need access to.
We have that now
To some degree, you have it now, but I would like.
So right now, when you rent a building or something, you have to call, we have to get back with you with a date. The fire pits are the same way. All of this will make it where they can tell that fire pit's already rented. It'll just modernize. I think last time, because of money, and I think there was some theory that go with somebody local, but really, this is where the big cities, this is where most cities use. This is the one that, we should not be making a change again after this, because this is where everybody plays. This is the big world.
So only Jackson County don't use that.
I know Pascagoula's been using it for 7 years because I helped build theirs, and I think the county got it right after Pascagoula did.
And as far as the web design, when we talked about doing the philanthropic page or the nonprofit, we can incorporate that at that point as well. And would that help with, help Parks and Rec with, fields and things like that too?
Yeah.
We were looking at it this afternoon. I was looking up something, and I got on Cleveland, Mississippi's website. They use Civic Plus, and then Raven was messing with it a little while ago, and they have a link for athletics, and then if you wanted to enroll in a sport, enroll your child in a sport, you could do it online. The form popped right up, so you just enroll them into a sport.
Vicki, there's not an additional charge for the MuniCode feature, right? That's just built in? That's in with the Civic?
No,
Because I'm just thinking of how much we paid just this year for MuniCode.
I think that I don't know, they said it would be instantaneous.
Because we pay a lot to MuniCode.
Another thing is, eventually Red Code could be just done away with, and there's Code Red, and that's about $8,000 a year. That can be more integrated into this system.
Yes, they do have a notification system and an alert system. So it would, and again, that would depend on people who sign up for it, just like with the Code Red.
And another thing is we're going to be able to have some videos, and right now, Raven, you can't hardly put live videos up, is that correct?
Yeah, it's just formatted weird, and it's just not aesthetically pleasing.
But we're going to have the potential even for an alderman to be interviewed that could go on there. We're going to have some film stuff with the Mary C. Is that right, Kenny? Some prompts, and then those videos could go up. You could, take turns and directors and whatever, and then those could be linked on there for people to watch them. It'll be another more modern way to communicate.
Does Biloxi have that?
No, Biloxi does not have Civic Plus.
Gulfport does.
Gulfport does. Hattiesburg uses parts of Civic Plus. I mean, our website is such a powerful tool. We just need to be smarter in the way we're putting our information out there. That's easier for our residents and our tourists too.
So the difference in the cost is worth the benefit.
And it's expensive. I mean, I don't know the ladies. I'm not looking at it, but I think if we can do away with the $8,000 with Code Red, Bobby, that yes, all that it's going to bring is going to be really great. I think it's going to be even great to communicate we were watching the cop on the interview on Biloxi, that we can do things like that. So the potential's just a lot greater.
And not only that, but they are continuing to grow with municipalities in mind. So like I had asked a question about something, and it's not a feature that they offer now, but it's in their wheelhouse where a lot of clerks, they service like 4,500 clerks or something like that. So a lot of clerks have requested it. They're working on getting that. And so they're going to be implementing new things specifically for municipalities, whereas what we have now is great, but it's not designed for municipalities.
Like in the court, Raven, with the court fines and stuff, can they see that out there with things like that being available now?
What do you mean?
Like court fines, like, yeah.
It's donors now.
We have some e-commerce on the website for like water bill, and is that it? I think that's it.
Water bill, you can pay court fines as well. You can pay things through there.
Yeah.
What do you need?
We're gonna talk about how-
Just something to move forward with discussions.
With negotiating the contract,
We can
and
bring a
then bring you a
contract.
contract next meeting.
I'll make a motion to allow Raven and Vicky to move forward with negotiating with Civic Plus.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Blackman, second by Mr. Altamont. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank y'all. Consent agenda, does anybody have anything to pull from the consent agenda?
I have G.
G. And R, facility. Agreement, okay. Anything else?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of items B and R.
Second by Mr. Cox. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, item G, authorize retaining Attorney Eddie C. Williams to assist Slaughter and Associates in preparing the urban renewal plan at a rate of $150 per hour billed in .10 hour increments. Wilkinson, Williams, OZO, Sessions, PLC will provide support staff.
Yeah, so, Robert, I just wanted to get a better understanding of a couple of things. One is understanding who Eddie Williams is, why we need him, what he brings to the table, that kind of thing. It's two-parted, that's the first part. And then the second part is just kind of making clearer that if we do determine to take advantage of Mr. Williams' services, that any kind of support from your office will come from you as far as payment is concerned. Nothing above and beyond your normal.
In other words, under the retainer is what you're saying.
Correct. So.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right, first off, Eddie Williams he's a friend of mine. Eddie was the attorney for the city of Pascagoula for approximately 14 years. During that time, Eddie was the attorney when Pascagoula put together their redevelopment authority. In doing that, Eddie traveled the state. I think he went to about every city in the state that had a redevelopment authority, looked at how they did it along with the city manager at that time. And so some of the documents that you've seen that we've been dealing with and talking about the redevelopment authority here are actually, as I've told you all along, are actually from Pascagoula with changes. And these are documents that Mr. Williams put together. I'd say maybe a year and a half ago, the mayor and I can't remember who all was there, but the attorney for the Pascagoula Redevelopment Authority and Eddie Williams came, and we kind of had an hour sit down, and they were telling us how it all worked, how it all got started, and all the steps to go through it. So that's the background. I don't know anyone on the Gulf Coast that has more knowledge than Mr. Williams. And this is a specialized area. My thoughts on this is that Mr. Williams would have to work with Slaughter and Associates to get together. We can't have a functioning redevelopment authority until we have an urban renewal plan. And that plan is, Pascagoula took about a year to do it. I don't think that's what we're wanting here. But that's literally going through and identifying every piece of property that the city, the board is going to determine is going to be a blighted or slum area. And you got to be careful, and you got to be legal, and you got to do it right. And there are steps all through there. Slaughter and Associates told me they can do some of it, maybe half of it, but they don't have the legal expertise on the back end to do it all. Mr. Williams says he can do the legal part of it, some of it, but he didn't have the complete expertise to do the planning part. So the two of them together can do it. I will assist my office. Will assist Mr. Williams wherever we can, but I simply don't have the expertise in that. And with the amount of money or potential funds that can go through the redevelopment authority, and a lot of them are federal funds, I want to make sure our base is correct. And I don't want to ever have any second guessing about, well, did we do it right? So that is the reason that I have requested a tremendous rate, I'll just say that. So that's kind of the background, if that helps you all.
Okay, no, it didn't elaborate, and I wanted to clarify what the need was.
It is a process. I mean, you're going to have to, the parcels, the legal description of all these properties, and then they're going to, the way I understand is that working with planning department, they're going to come to you and say, here it is. Do y'all want to go? Is this the route you want to go? Are these the areas we consider that are in need of renewal?
I thought our map was already set.
There is a,
The area,
Site specific.
we didn't research the individual parcels, we just looked at them.
Throw a net over it? Kind of, just throw a net over it?
Basically,
lines.
we drew some lines just with our understanding of how the properties were, but we didn't do any research on ownership and use and background and things like that. So that's definitely another layer that needs to be done.
So the attorney that came here with Slaughter and Associate, he's out of the picture with them?
yes. Yeah, he doesn't do this, is my understanding. He doesn't.
It's different than the,
So you're talking about $150 for this fellow, and $150 for Robert?
No, Robert's fees in the retainer.
The support staff is in the retainer?
Right, that's what I
Yes.
just clarified. Yeah, that was the second piece, the clarification of that.
No, Robert's more expensive
I didn't hear that. I think I'm glad I didn't.
No, that clears it up for me. Does anybody else have any?
That's,
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve item G from the consent agenda, Mr. Mayor.
We got a motion by Mr. Impey, second by Mr. Blackman. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item R, approve the facility use agreement for the Ocean Springs High School tennis team to use Halstead Tennis Facility at no cost to the Ocean Springs School District from January 5, 2023 until the end of the school year, May 23, 2023, for practices on the times on Monday, Friday 2:30 to 4, home matches on February 23rd, February 25th, February 28th, March 14th, March 21st, March 23rd, and March 30th. In time to be determined, playoff dates and times to be determined April 3 through 14. Kevin?
And just drop the no cost and put to be determined.
Okay, so Kevin would like to drop tennis facility at no cost to tennis facility cost to be determined.
What does this do for Doug and all, like the tennis courts? That's my question.
They're fine. They're fine. Doug looked
He's
at
already
it.
reviewed this?
Yeah, he's
good with
reviewed it. He's good with it.
It doesn't take away anything from the
No, sir. I'll let him.
residents playing tennis?
Sir?
It doesn't take away from the residents playing tennis?
No, sir.
Okay.
same setup as last year. is what we're
Right,
told.
just
Yeah.
think that,
I just,
you want to elaborate?
I think there's other things being looked at with us using their facilities and them using us, so we're just gonna wait and work
See
the
what they
details
say.
out.
They want the upper.
I'm gonna reach out to, the superintendent and, discuss some other cross-facility uses and, which I don't think there'll be an issue, but, until we know 100% for sure, because I know last year, we're probably gonna need some, practice facilities for softball.
Of course,
and
yes, sir.
and baseball like they allowed us to use last year. So it's a good time now to get all this stuff ironed out. And anyway, so if you'll allow me to negotiate that, and I guess we can come back at the next board meeting and vote on.
Table it.
Table this one. Is that what you'd like to do, Kevin?
Yeah.
Want to take the table?
Just want
I'd go ahead and approve it, we just, the cost
I
will be
think
determined.
that,
No, we're gonna approve it.
the athletic director would definitely like the dates that he's approved.
I talked to Mark and he said it's the beginning of January is when they start.
We can approve it with the cost, I mean, with the cost.
The only thing I'm saying is if they need the volleyball for Parks and Rec at the upper, and if they're gonna charge us for the upper,
I agree.
we need to charge them for the tennis courts.
Correct.
And
I'm
if
sure
they're
the
gonna
mayor
let that
needs to
go,
work out.
I mean, the cost, like you had said before, cost to be determined, I think is better than.
I'd rather not table it, I'd rather just.
No, let's approve it, but let the mayor negotiate the cost.
yeah, that's fine.
To be determined.
Okay, so you got that change?
I do.
Okay.
Well, that needs to be in a motion to,
Right, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
So we need to make a motion to approve it
with the
cost to be determined.
with the cost to be determined.
And take out, okay.
second.
Motion by Mr. Wade, second by Mr. Aldermen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Nay.
Oh, nay? Okay, we got one nay, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, no problem. I don't
so-
want to get into a situation we got into a couple of administrations ago with this back and forth between us and the school district. We've got a good relationship and we need to maintain that relationship.
And that's what the mayor's gonna.
We will, and we do have a
Yeah, we're gonna-
relationship and we'll work it out. Okay, just want to recognize and brag a little bit on the our maintenance department. We have 6 men on that department that are doing a variety of different. They have a variety of different trades, and they formed a good team and have done starting to do and have done some very good projects. Most recently, the outhouse at the Fort Pine boat launch. But I don't know if y'all been down to the fort at Fort Marapaw and looked at the new boardwalk that they put around the oak trees there. Turned out extremely nice. So we're fortunate to have this group, and we're going to task them with quite a few projects going forward. Some things what we're not going to do, and Ricky and I discussed this with Patty the other day, we don't want to bog them down for months on projects, but we want to, where we don't have to contract out on some smaller projects and have them go in there and knock them out, because they're very capable of doing a lot of different things.
They're very proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, they enjoy doing some good projects.
So anyway, just want to make that report to y'all. Next item is the city clerk to approve the payment docket of claims. All expenditures are appropriate and authorized by law, and spread summary on the minutes. Does anyone have anything to pull from the docket of claims?
Make a motion to approve the docket of claims.
Motion by Mr. Cox.
Second.
Second by Mr. Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is authorize the adjustment of water and sewer accounts due to the finding that the customers did not receive the benefit of the utility and the excess usages were due to unforeseen circumstances. Does anybody have any questions about the sewer adjustments?
I'll make a motion to authorize the adjustments.
Motion by Mr. Aldermen, second by Ms. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is on the reports is from the fire department. Authorize Fire Chief to execute an MOU with the University of Mississippi Medical Center for the development of an available statewide system for medical control for first responders, the development of education programs for emergency EMS services. Chief McCoy says that we are the only city in the state allowed to do this, so I wanted him to explain to y'all what this is about.
Yeah, Lord knows I don't want to be a reason to slow down this so far expedient meeting. This is pretty important. I feel like, I started in the fire service in '98, and long before then, up until 2014, what would happen is your local ambulance providers would provide the fire departments and their personnel medical control. Would give them protocols to be able to legally operate as an EMT if you was trained to that level, which is a protected title in the state of Mississippi. In 2014, our local ambulance provider, without really any reason at all, just started, they stopped providing that medical control to fire departments in Jackson County. Harrison County, our brothers and sisters over there, they've always maintained that, but in Jackson County, we lost it. And what that did is that basically took away the number of EMTs, paramedics that we had working within the fire departments to be able to legally operate. Now, most fire departments, we just kept on doing what we always did. You know, there was a need, we'd respond if we got the call. But in all actuality, we were doing it with some liability because we wasn't legally able to even call ourselves an EMT. And like to put this in perspective, at one point, I actually had a paramedic on my fire department. He worked for AMR in Harrison County. So he could go over there and work for AMR as a paramedic. The minute he got off the shift and drove over to Jackson County and started working for me at the fire department, he could no longer legally operate as a paramedic. It made no sense. In 2019, actually when I got this position here, that's something I really started kind of working on. And we got some people in Jackson to get behind it. And what we found out was it was actually affected over 1,200 people in the state. It affected firemen. It affected law enforcement, people that were able to be a legal EMT, paramedic. Hattiesburg is one city. I was kind of floored to find out Hattiesburg was in the same situation we were in. So House Bill 821 passed this last legislative session. Our representative, Hank Zuber, who's chairman of the Insurance Committee, was instrumental in getting that legislation passed. What that does is that provided a non-transport EMS bill that basically we're going to work through the University of Mississippi Medical Center. They're going to provide us our protocols and our medical control agreements. We were selected as the first department in the state. Right now, we're the only department. We're in the process now of reviewing our protocols. My personnel that are EMTs are able to have to go in there and pass tests, prove that they've read the protocols, things of that nature. So we're moving forward, and basically we're going to be kind of like the litmus test for the state. They're going to work out all the details and all the kinks with our department. Once we get up and get going, then other departments in the state or throughout the state will be able to sign on. So in other words, my EMTs in my department, they will have medical control anywhere in the state. You know, this affects a lot of rural areas as well. So it's a big deal. A lot of people really didn't understand it, really didn't know about it, and it was simply because you didn't really see a change in how we responded. We just kept doing what we do anyway. But now, you know, this is in place, so it's a really good thing. I just wanted to take a few minutes and kind of explain it to y'all so you kind of understand it.
What kind of timeline are you looking at?
Well, so right now it's it's imminent. My guys has already signed up with the state. They've already done their protocols. It's just a little bit of a process that we're working through. And what this also allows me to do is before this, I wouldn't send anybody to EMT school because it didn't make any sense. Why would I send somebody, you know, when they can't even legally call themselves EMT? So now we can up our game, we can provide a better service to our citizens, and we can do it the right way. So it's going, you know, it's a quick process, but it's really just comes down to you're not going to see a whole lot of change in what we do. It's just behind the scenes, paper kind of deal, you know. So other than that, thank y'all.
Thanks, Chief.
Thanks, Chief. Sounds like you spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, once again, you're on the forefront of something. I love it. It's awesome. I'll make a motion to authorize the fire chief to execute that MOU with University of Mississippi Medical Center.
Motion by Mr. Ampe, second by Mr. Blackman. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. General public comment. Public is invited to address the board for up to 3 minutes for a maximum period of 30 minutes. Only 2 speakers will be allowed per side of each issue. If anyone has any public comment related to the city and city activities, you may step to the podium now and clearly introduce yourself, identify yourself with address and name. If anybody have any public comments? Okay. Patty, you want to discuss the depository bid?
Okay, laying in front of you all, we did open the city's depository today at 2. And I think we may have some bank guys here or some bankers here, and I want to thank everybody that did. And if you're here tonight, thank you for coming out. As you can see, we really got an outstanding rate. You know, we were with the First, and we weren't paying any monthly fees. And interest rate had began to creep, but when we first moved to the First, it was like 0.15. And so this will be for 4 years. The state changed it from 2 years to 4, which is great because it's a lot of work to move money from the banks. But today, the First came in still with no fees, and in my opinion, we would go with that fixed rate of 3.60. That will be for 4 years, which is very exciting. Again, I don't know the guys that are here. If they want to stand up, I could recognize them. We do appreciate everybody bidding and coming out. And I know you're here, yeah, because you text me, and so you're with Cadence?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you guys bidding, and we are very excited, as you can see, with what we ended up with. So. Yeah, so we'll just say, you would be too. Well, that's what Randall with Community said too. He said it was a great rate. So we'll just need a motion that we're going to move forward with. Vicki already has written it out for somebody.
Yeah, I have it. I have a motion to award the 2023 to 2026 municipal depository bid opening to the First at a fixed rate of 3.60% and no monthly fees.
Motion by Mr. Aldermen, second by Mr. Blackman. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. One item I missed on my report, I'd like to also recognize Matt Burrell in the Public Works area for his work in maintaining the proper documentation when utility companies were working in the city so that the city can be reimbursed. As you know, we had a lot of discussion back when the utility companies were boring and putting down new lines and fiber optic and so forth, and drilling through our utilities. And Matt kept copious notes, and it was allowing us to recoup some money. So please tell Matt we appreciate his work on that. We do have some more utility boring going on. I think the gas company's out there doing some work now.
Well, C-Spire's still at it out in my area too, so
Center Point's down here. Center Point, yeah, Center Point's downtown. So.
Anyways, please. Oh, man, I do that all the time. Anyway, now we're moving on to, there's nothing else I missed on that. Is a big.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Alderman mayor reports. Ms. Burgess.
Yeah, Alan, the hospital crosswalk.
We're waiting on the thermoplast to come in.
Okay, when did they tell you it would be in?
They said 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, did they? Okay, because I thought it was already.
We got some, but we don't have enough to go all the way across.
When did y'all order it?
2 weeks ago.
Okay, all right, so we got another 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, and then, at the boat launch, the parking blocks, those two that are closest to the actual launch, they're still there.
Yeah, I need to get a forklift out there to move them.
Okay, all right.
I'll get Steven on that this week.
All right, I appreciate that. And Stephen, you and I are getting together in the morning, right?
I've got, I've talked to Alan, get his guys, and then 2 of my guys are gonna meet you down there in the morning.
Okay, perfect. All right, that's all I got. Thank you.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Good. Amazing. Well, the mayor bragged a little, I'll brag too a little bit here. On Alan Ladner and Public Works, thank you. He put up a new radar sign on Halstead Road. And it seems to be working very well. Thank you for doing that. And Matt and his group, redid the lift station at Halstead and East Beach, put a new fence around it and painted it. It's no longer an eyesore. And, Mayor, I gotta, thank you, Alan. I said, Mayor, but I need to wear you this.
I thought you were
They
going to
did an
compliment me
excellent-
for something.
Well, I've got something for you.
Is he digging something or something?
Thank you for cleaning out that ditch from Halstead to the Monster Ditch. If y'all are on Halstead and you look to the east between Park Road and Inglewood,
Yeah.
it looks great. Thank you, Alan, for doing that. I tell you, people, thank you. I would thank you for what you've been doing.
Appreciate that, Alan. You don't get it as easy as.
Yeah, you better get it, you better frame these minutes.
Thanks, Alan.
I give these an 8 by 10.
I've got some other things, but I'll talk to them later. Thanks, Alan.
Mike?
Just real quick, Alan, have we heard anything of the county on paving?
Yeah.
I know they
I
renegotiated
hadn't,
that
I think the
contract.
mayor talked to him
Yeah,
since I have.
talked to them, and they have started repaving again. They got the contract worked with Warren. They're doing some work in Moss Point, and they're supposed to be getting us a schedule on when they're going to be working in Ocean Springs. So we should be hearing something from Joe about when, what the schedule looks like.
I know the cost went up and they were gonna, we're 2 years behind, they were gonna reevaluate what had already been approved because of the increase in cost. Have we seen that revised list?
Not the cost, but your list is the same as you put in the last time.
They have the same identical list.
Same list.
It's been over a year ago.
Yeah. Now, y'all wanna review them and make
Yeah.
sure?
Yes.
No, I just want to make
Get 'em back out
sure.
there?
I figured the money wouldn't cover them all.
Well, that was mine.
It may not, so prioritize your list based on what you think is the most important need.
That was my understanding from Supervisor Bossard, that the money hasn't changed, but the price is going up, so that was gonna reduce the amount of paving, so.
Yeah, I would rank them by what you think.
Skip Ward 4, so. Ward 6 is, all roads in Ward 6 are high priority.
Okay, on that Summerflast, we need to rework the intersection of Governor and Washington, to stop, the white and stop, the parking, the yellow striping, all that needs to be redone. That's probably the most run stop sign and it's our stop traffic signal in the city right there.
Government in Washington.
Well, that brick needs to be pulled too and poured concrete and stamped or do concrete, something, something needs to be done with that.
And some of us had to fix some of those.
Yeah.
Well, you think we need to do that before we stripe it?
I think if we're gonna stripe it, we should take that brick out of there, pour the concrete and stripe that part.
Do the stamped concrete.
That's a crosswalk right there, is that qualified sidewalk?
It's a sidewalk amenity, yeah.
Sidewalk.
Yeah, it's eligible for this one.
Peter Anderson was a success, even though we had a lot of rain, or half the day on Saturday. Sunday was record crowds, record businesses. I think probably the best day Peter Anderson, the vendors have had, and then our local restaurants and bars have had since the festival began. I want to thank Alderman Cox, Alderman Wade, and Alderman Altamont, along with the chamber staff for manning that without any incident. During cruising the coast, we had an alderman get his hands on some electrical stuff and blew out some breakers.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we didn't allow him to touch anything. Right, Alan?
Worked good this time.
But anyway, job well done. And I don't know if you noticed, there was this gentleman in the boardroom earlier, Larry Tucci. And Larry is a retired CB, I believe he worked in maintenance. But anyway, he is part of the Ocean Springs Historical Society, who had a meeting in this room today, I believe it was. It's a younger group of folks but they're real eager, and I think they're going to be real good for the city to work with as far as partners. Larry is his passion now is aging oak trees, and he has gone through the city and measured the bases of oak trees, and he states whether they're multi-trunk or single trunk, and then he figures out by the size of it how old they are. So he says in Ocean Springs we've got 28 of the largest oak trees in North America. So I think that's pretty impressive, for our tree city designation. And if anybody's interested, the Holloway oaks are 36, 37, and 38. And he estimates those oaks to be about 150 years old, and he's looking for names. So I'm going to name a couple after my parents, and Donnie is not getting one named after me. But anyway, I just thought I'd share with y'all that with y'all, since we are a Tree City. If there's not anything else, we'll call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Impey. Second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'll read.
Jennifer, Bell's gonna meet you down there. My supervisor, he'll be there. DeBell's Brown, my supervisor.